All right, now let's get to the real comeback kid that I feel like is going to be the star of the show, and it's Tigers, because Tigers are back.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Tigers are great right now. They're back since the first time they're back since they won a national championship in New Orleans.
It's the year of the Tiger.
Let's go Tigers.
Oh my God, it is the
It
year.
is the year of the Tiger.
It might really be the year of the Tiger if college football gets canceled.
No,
It won't. They'll find a way.
Don't.
Even if they don't play a championship, they'll play 3 games if they need to. They'll fucking
You don't.
No, I'm not
This
even.
is 2 weeks in a row you tried to
I'm not the
throw
least
that
bit worried
shit.
about it.
You tried to throw that slander on maybe football in the fall is going to be canceled. And I swear to God, Pat, I swear to God, if this happens and it's your fault, like, fuck, I'm going to kill you and feed you to tigers, which is maybe something that might have happened in the show.
This just popped into my head. Now, and I know you don't even want to talk about hypotheticals, but we have to in this. Because if that happened and we don't play an NFL season, what do we do about next year's draft? Is it a just totally randomized order?
I don't know.
Or do you keep the same order from the teams that were bad?
I think you keep the same order, but then that's not really fair because then you get to stockpile.
But I mean, it's teams that were already bad.
Right,
but
like you don't know that
teams that are
like
at the
the
top,
Bengals couldn't take Joe Burrow and then be studs. I mean, they're not gonna be, but like you don't know. He get to AJ Green. He could throw to AJ Green. He's got what's his face from Oklahoma, Mixon. He's got Joe Mixon. Like who knows? They're probably not gonna be good, but like I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
and regardless, the Giants will probably draft in the top 5 anyways.
But teams that were high up,
JK,
every team is gonna lie and go like, well, we were. I think the Patriots will be, well, we lost Tom Brady. We were going to be rebuilding. We were probably going to have the number 1 overall pick because we were going to be bad this year. How do you not know?
They're okay. The Patriots are either going to fuck around and win the AFC East.
They're going to.
I don't doubt it. I saw like 71% of the money was on the Bills to win the AFC East on one of the sites I used to gamble on. I can't bet on anything right now.
It's only a matter
I'm
of time
just literally
before
looking
Diggs
at
blows that
lines of like where people are putting futures bets, and it's like I don't want to put a futures bet because the last bets I put got kicked back because that didn't happen, and it's like I don't want to jinx that, so I'm not going to bet on anything inside. No, we have sports back because I don't want it to be my fault. You know, like if the NFL gets canceled, it's your fault now. That's on you.
I'll take that blame.
That's on you.
I'll take that blame.
But if I put a bet on something and it doesn't happen, that's on me, and I don't want that to be on me. So I'm going to try not to do that.
So Tigers
are back.
But year of the Tiger, man.
It is the
LSU
year of the Tiger.
wins. Joe Burrow's going to go number 1 overall, and now we've got
what is the bigger story though?
Tiger King.
LSU winning a national championship for the first time in a while, and the LSU Tigers are back on top of the football world, or fucking Joe Exotic from Tiger King, the documentary on Netflix that if you have not watched, I don't know what's been going on in your life because you've been quarantined, guys. This is a 7-hour-long fucking docu-series that you better spend 7 hours of your life watching.
Even if you're not quarantined and you're like me and you've been working.
It's a fucking wild ride,
I knocked
guys.
the whole thing out yesterday
I
in
knocked
a
it out
day
in one day as well.
when I also worked 10 hours.
There's
time. You have time to watch this.
Every time they're like, this is the most insane, crazy person I have ever seen on any show ever of all time. And then like the documentary's like, well, just hold on a second because we got somebody weirder than that. You're like, wait, what? Okay, you thought that guy was weird. Well, hold on. Check out this guy.
Hey, you know how last episode we showed you just an insane, crazy part of this story and what happened? Well, check out what they did next. And you're like, no fucking way can you top it. Oh, fuck, you topped it.
I saw there's that meme that was like, what if I told you that finding out about the gay polyamorous?
Something like polygamous.
The gay polygamous.
Gun-toting, mullet-wearing, tiger-owning redneck.
Zookeeper from Oklahoma. Like, that wasn't even the weirdest guy in the whole show.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm listening.
Well, I don't know. He might still be the weirdest.
No. Carol's the weirdest.
I was going to say, he's not the worst.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Well, I guess none of those things we said would show that he's the worst. But just, we're not giving anything away, guys. Oh, we never said spoiler.
We're about to.
We're about before
to.
This,
all right, guys, we're going to do a spoiler alert. If like, you're going to watch the documentary, you can watch it. Like, Tiger King is insane. It's fucking nuts. Go check this shit out.
I wrote down notes for this. It was so fucking nuts.
Holy shit. The
Skip
entire time you're watching it, you're just like, this can't get any crazier. And then it gets crazier. And it's like 6 episodes of constantly getting crazier than the previous episode where you're like, how? How are we 6 episodes in and this is still getting, like, my mind was in pretzels. It was a big fucking pretzel, my brain was. Like, what is happening? This is crazy. I don't understand this. Why are you doing this? Why do you guys hate each other?
because Robert Salsa. Should we wait and discuss next week?
No, we're talking about it now. We're talking spoiler alert. Okay?
I already said spoilers.
No, if you don't want to hear us talking about what happens in it, fast forward 5, maybe 10 minutes. Just fast forward till we're not talking about it. Okay?
Yeah, because it's fresh. We both watched it yesterday. It's fresh. We
like
gotta
really,
fucking
it's like
do
a doc.
this.
I'm talking about this. Okay, like I'm not. There's no way I'm not talking about this. Okay, so just fast forward. We'll talk to you then, and then come back after you watch it and find out at the what minute mark.
All right,
are we
so
at?
Joe,
at the like 42-minute mark, come back and then listen after you watch Tiger King. If not, or if you don't care about spoilers, listen on because we're talking about it now. Let's give you 5 seconds to hit pause. Okay, all right. So fucking,
was
what
like
are
2.5.
what are your thoughts?
Okay,
what
so
are your thoughts?
Let's just start off on Joe. First couple episodes, you're all
Joe
behind him.
Maldonado, aka Joe
And
Exotic.
it was actually Joe Suburbernick or something.
But then he changed it to Joe Maldonado. Or
Because
whatever.
Joe Maldonado was the second guy he married. But yeah, he's married to 2 guys at once. But I'm saying let's start at the beginning. The first couple episodes, you're like,
Oh my
this guy's awesome. Like, he's fucking crazy, but he's awesome. As it goes on in the series,
He's like a zookeeper Hulk Hogan.
you're like, oh my God, he's actually just kind of a piece of shit. Bankrupts his parents. Like, he started out with good intentions. Like, he just wanted to have his tigers.
He wanted tigers because he could get pussy with tigers. Or I guess he could get dick with tigers.
Yeah. Remember, Joe's gay. He doesn't want pussy. He wants those pussies.
No, yeah, the tigers are the pussies.
But he likes the peen.
Right.
But, like, he started out
he doesn't
like,
want to fuck
good
the
intentions.
pussies.
He started out with good intentions. He loved tigers. He wanted to have a good space for them. And so what? He wanted to make money off of it. You're a zoo owner.
Right.
That's what you do.
That's
Is you
what
fucking
zoos
make
do.
money. As it went
I don't know
on,
if you guys know
and
how
he started getting into all these
economies
fights
work.
with fucking Carol, which we'll get to her in a minute. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Carol
he
is
just
maybe my least
slowly
favorite
lost
person.
his fucking mind. Like, over time, he just completely lost it. Like, they say it in there. He
We're also
wasn't-
forgetting that he did a lot of meth and drugs
Yeah.
during that time. And I've never done meth personally, but I've heard that shit fucks you up.
And it makes you paranoid.
And boy, was he.
Yeah.
Boy, was he. So he had these husbands that we find out aren't always gay. Like, most of the time, we're not gay.
We're not gay before they met him.
I don't know about the first husband, but the second and third that we know.
was not gay. Well, okay, so there was
there
a
was
first
one
husband
before
we
the
didn't know.
documentary.
Yeah, it was before the documentary.
We're not going
We
to go too
didn't know
much into
about
that. But like then like the best part is like what's the guy the dude shirtless the guy he obviously had like meth
forgetting
mouth.
his fucking
He had
name.
meth mouth.
Oh, yeah.
and
So bad.
like, he's literally got like, they're showing all these pictures.
I think his bottom teeth were all there, but he only had like 2 on the top.
He had one like in the middle.
No, there was 2. There was
Well,
2.
like just in the middle, there was just the one,
Yeah.
and then he had like one way over on the side. But like this dude, they're showing him like as he's young, when he was younger, when he and
Jeff?
Joe were married,
No, Jeff was the producer.
and he's like he's got a full set of teeth. They showed like Joe Exotic used to do these music videos that were absolutely electric, like.
Yeah.
That is
'Cause-
like
because
you
he
think
is a
that
country singer.
country music, dude. That wasn't. By the way, that was not him singing. Was it?
John Finley. Yeah, it's him singing.
It wasn't. That was totally somebody else's
No,
voice.
that's him.
He's like, I saw a tiger and a tiger saw a man.
That was my favorite part of all
And
the
a hunter
singing
put down his gun.
is when he said, I use my music to escape from reality. And literally all of his songs
He used tigers, dude.
are about exactly what was going on in his life. Like, one is about, oh, I think she killed her husband and fed him to the tigers. So he wrote a song about that. Then there's like, oh, I own tigers. Okay, this one's called I Saw the Tiger. Like, every time they would move to a different part of the story, there was a song he had written and sang that was about that part of the fucking story.
Like, you watch this with your mouth just wide open, like, oh my, like your jaw just dropped constantly.
You just
the
constantly
entire
said,
time you watch.
what
Like,
the fuck? It was one of those, because now these are coming out pretty frequently, one of those what the fuck documentaries, where as you watch it, you just keep saying,
it's like Don't Fuck with Cats.
that's the other one that I could, yeah, it was just, you just keep going, what the fuck?
But like, why? This is crazier than Don't Fuck with Cats. Don't Fuck with Cats is more like sinister. This
Yeah.
is like, oh my god, these are real people that live in this world and like walk around every day and do things and like, what? He also ran for governor, got 19% of the vote, which is not, he didn't win obviously, but like 19% of the vote means like,
but it
almost
is,
a fifth of the people that voted for that guy, the
It's
fucking
Oklahoma.
tiger guy.
It's Oklahoma. It's a shithole state.
The fucking, which I get, like in a lot of politics, he checks a bunch of boxes.
but he didn't actually have any politics.
Oh, he had no idea what he was talking
He
about.
just decided he wanted to fucking maybe be governor because he thought it would help sell tickets to the zoo.
Who did you feel like? Did you feel the worst for the campaign manager? It was like, I don't know. I just wanted to be a campaign manager as my job, and I signed up for this. And then, like, Joe Exotic came along, and I didn't think he was gonna win, but I wanted to be a campaign manager, and this was a resident builder. And then he just got like stuck with him, and was like, nothing he told him to do went the way it was supposed to go.
I don't feel bad for that guy because at any moment you could have just quit. And you knew 2 seconds in that this isn't a real thing.
But I mean, he was trying to do his job. He was really trying to do his job, and then he just got dragged into all this crazy shit that was going on.
No, the person I feel the worst for is the first husband that they showed, John, the guy with the meth mouth. Because he actually seemed like a good dude. He just had a fucked up past. And like he was into meth. Like meth fucked him up in the head. And then he got into this guy's life, and Joe just drove it off the fucking cliff. But he seemed like a good dude. I mean, I will say this, though.
I liked pink camo.
He seemed like a good dude, but I'm pretty sure one of those tattoos he had was an Aryan cross.
They had some problematic looking tattoos.
But I'm going to say that was...
I didn't know what they all meant.
I'm going to hope that was in his past. I'm going to hope he's not a racist. It was just when he was on drugs. But I noticed that at the end, he's sitting there because he's shirtless the entire fucking time.
Like somebody's like, hey, we're going to come over and do an interview for a couple hours. Is that cool? And you're like, all right, tight. And so like most of us, like, you know, you make sure like the place is kind of cleaned up.
Just jeans and meth mouth. That's all it was.
And then he was like, hell, I'm not going to wear this shirt. So he just takes the shirt off, and like that's what he does.
I noticed
but then also,
and like the second, the last time they showed him, I was like, oh, fuck, I think that's an Aryan cross.
Looked weird. Like that he was just shirtless whenever they went to him for the interview. But also weirder was that the first girl that they had, she was a park employee that got attacked by a tiger, lost her arm. Everybody was up in arms about, like, not to make, no pun intended, up in arm about her losing an arm. And then she goes back to work in like 4 days because she was like, I cared about the tigers. I didn't want to, like, I loved working there. I didn't want to do this.
And apparently it was her fuck up because she stuck her arm in a tiger cage.
But then also, she's fucking sitting in like a garbage dump the entire time they're interviewing her. Like she's at a dump. There's trash behind her.
I think that was part of the park.
There's trash behind her.
I'm pretty sure that was part of the park.
Right, but like, hey, where do you want to set up shop before we do your interview? Like, I don't know, the dump. Like literally anywhere else. I don't know, by a tiger cage, huh? Like, let's go somewhere. It was weird.
I loved that. Okay, when they first started interviewing her early on, they were only showing from like high chest, shoulder area up. Mm-hmm. Then it gets to the part where an employee loses their arm. And they're sitting there and like they have video of it because they videotaped everything. Every part of this guy's life was on videotape. From the time he woke up to the time he went to bed.
The news reporter he hired.
But they were doing it already because of his online show.
Oh, yeah. Well, then they hired the news producer guy that looked like he was dead the whole time he was talking to you. Like he was like
that dude looked like he's Keith Richards' brother.
He just looked dead. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he looked like a skeleton just talking to you the whole time.
He's been 67 for 22
years. And I'll tell you,
I
mean, Joe Exotic, he understood what he was doing, and
just
he knew
ripping
that,
cigs the entire
internet
time.
radio was going to be a thing. He knew the internet was big before it got big, and I mean, he did those shows, and I ran them.
During the entire interview process with him, he's smoking through the whole thing. Every time they show footage of him on the show, he's lighting up a fucking cigarette. That dude always was smoking.
It was nuts. But then let's talk about the worst person on the show. Fucking Carol.
Possibly on the planet.
Hey, all you crazy cats and kittens.
Oh my god.
Hey, all you crazy cats and kittens out there. How you doing, huh?
We're both in agreement, right? 100% she murdered her husband.
1,000,000,000%.
Like, there's no fucking way she didn't do it.
And feed him to tigers. Because she, like, okay, so there's a whole, I guess if you're listening to this and you're not knowing what we're talking about because you didn't watch it, then, like, you'll figure it out when you watch. But still, like, so they were showing him, and Joe was saying, like, he thought that somebody tried to, like, get him killed one time, and that, like, there was a tiger that just kept biting his shoe. And it looked like there had to be something with the shoe that, like, made the tiger.
I think the tiger was just like,
I don't know.
Something about the way his shoe smells. I like it right now. I'm going to fucking chew on this shoe.
But then she was like,
I
wouldn't have done that, but if I was, which is a very O.J. Simpson-y kind of thing to go with, where she was like, but I wouldn't have done that. But if I was, I would have put sardine oil on it, and maybe even on his hands if I could, because that's how you get a tiger to go after a person. I was like, huh. Well, that seems oddly specific.
I think she was replying to Joe was saying that they had sprayed cologne on it, and she's like, "Wait, cologne wouldn't do anything. It'd be sardine oil."
Well, I bet. Then I wonder how her husband got eaten.
Of it, yeah.
Huh? Was he maybe soaked in some sardine oil?
No, she straight up. No, she shot her husband.
Oh yeah, no. But then she probably like dipped him in some sardine oil, tossed him into the fucking tigers, and tigers like, "Yum, let's eat this." Because their stomachs are apparently acidic enough, according to Joe, who I don't trust 100%. But
to break down turkey bones, human bones are a little bit bigger.
Right. But all I know is that if you can throw them to pigs, as according to that one movie we Snatch that we referenced last week, I believe, then that's just how you clean it up.
And I love how nobody threw out this theory. She's in Florida. Every time they zoom up and do an aerial shot of her farm or her sanctuary or whatever you want to call it, she's in the fucking swamp. You can just dump a body in the swamp and it can never appear again. Because fucking gators.
Gators. The gators will get you.
Yeah.
I don't want them damn gators.
Like, oh, we would find bones. Really? You expect to find bones in the swamp? In the middle of the swamp?
You want to go out there and look for them? No, probably not.
Like, I'm betting that they have a fucking boat.
Also, her attire was absolutely insane. Joe had crazy attire. Joe's an insane person. I don't disagree that he's insane or anything. But, like, Carol is just straight up evil. And then she goes to, like, court.
Evil.
But, like, Joe goes to court in, like, a fucking Iron Man t-shirt with no sleeves. Or, like, a sequined tiger fucking button-down shirt. And you're like, okay, that's Joe. Joe's a little crazy. Carol goes in, like, full-on, like, tiger, like, sweatpants, sweatshirt.
Well, cat print. It's not
A
necessarily
cat print.
tiger.
And she has leopards sometimes. But she's, like, in court, like a federal court, trying to, like, plead a case to shit. And I'm like, how is any judge ever going to take this fucking lady dressed in cat attire seriously? Not that you could take, like, Joe seriously ever. I wouldn't ever take Joe seriously. But you're like, Joe's just kind of like, he's a crazy guy. He loves tigers. He's just wild. Like, she seems evil. Her whole demeanor where she talks like this, like, I've definitely not killed 30 people, and I don't have people that I've fed to tigers. I definitely don't. And this is how I talk the entire time. And sometimes I wear flowers in my head. And although I'm trying to go after Joe Exotic for showing off tigers and profiting off of people coming to see tigers at his park, I also rescue tigers. And under the guise of rescue, I will allow you into my park to look at the tigers for a fee. But I'm not the same way. I'm totally different because I'm rescuing them, as opposed to him, who's also sort of rescuing them, but whatever.
And the other guys, they only pay their employees $150 a week. That's terrible.
They're working like slaves.
Because of that, I don't have employees. I only take volunteers who work for free. But over the course of 1 year, 2 year, and 5 years, you can work your way up to being another level of employee. And guess what? I'm never going to learn your name until you've been here for after 5 years.
It's like fucking Scientology shit. Like, you got to go clear.
Yes, that's exactly
You got to go clear to
like.
work for her.
She's fucking
or volunteer
insane
for
and
her.
evil. And so she's got the first husband that she obviously kills to steal his money,
And,
which
like,
is, depending on who you believe in there, it's somewhere between $7 to $20 million that this guy
It was on the higher end, I think. But then, like,
cuts out his fucking previous wife and daughters, takes like
his disappearance, though. Talk about the disappearance.
Okay.
So he disappears.
He's
they can't
been
find
telling
him.
everybody in his life
She's going to kill him.
for weeks. He tries to get a restraining order where he says she's going to kill me.
On his wife. When you try and get a restraining order on your wife, there's some red flags there.
That she's been threatening to kill me, but there's nothing, the way it was explained, they couldn't honor that just because
some
it was
red
hearsay.
flags. Some red flags.
Yeah.
The fact that he
He's
asked and then it
telling-
happens, like, wonder what happened.
Telling his assistant, who from all accounts is the closest person in his life to him, even more so than his wife, tells his assistant, I need to get a divorce. I'm going to divorce her, and I'm gonna take everything away from her.
Tells
because
his
she's fucking
attorney.
crazy. Tells his attorney. Tells his buddy, who's basically his contractor, but it's his friend who's just worked for him for years. Tells his other friend. Tells everybody that'll listen, I'm gonna get away from her. Then he has a scheduled trip down to Costa Rica because he goes once a month because he fucking loves Costa Rica. He plans on eventually moving it down there. She doesn't want to do that. So on the night before he's going to go to Costa Rica,
She wants to stay in fucking Florida and go after Joe over the fucking Tigers shit. That's what she wanted to do.
this was pre-Joe.
No. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
This is pre-Joe.
Yeah.
But she just wants the money and doesn't want to move and wants all of the tigers.
And so the husband
And bobcats and shit, which, by the way, go Bobcats.
the husband somehow goes missing, and she was going out to get cat litter or cat food, I believe,
At 3:30
at,
in the morning.
yeah, the middle of the fucking night, because that's normal. People go out at 3 a.m. to get cat food all the time. And the cop that stopped her and helped her realize that her husband was missing just happened to be her brother that she had just recently reconnected with after years of never speaking to each other, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy, right? Which definitely doesn't seem like it had a cover up or anything like that. And then she said she saw him. He came back eventually and said, I'll be back. I have to. And she kept repeating the exact same thing she said, which is like, you can tell she had rehearsed this. Like, I've very, very urgent. I've got to go to Costa Rica. Very, very urgent.
Oh, no. It was, I've got to leave very, very, very early
She kept saying
tomorrow.
very, 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 yeah.
It was always 3 varies. It was the exact same
Where she
amount
had
of
repeated
varies
it
every
yeah.
fucking time.
And then he left, a.k.a. got fed to tigers. And
He disappears completely.
She fucking shot that guy and fed him to
They
tigers.
look around. Eventually, they find his van at an airstrip. So it's trying to look like, oh, no, he just snuck off.
Right. Even though you
But
saw
then
him.
they're like, why would you why would you leave your van there at an airstrip when that'll let people, like if they're trying to make it look like he just was trying to disappear completely right away, just disappear and fade off and maybe go down to Costa Rica with his girlfriend that he had down there too. But why would you leave your van at the airport, right at the airstrip? He owned planes. None of them could make it to Costa Rica.
Right. Dude, it was nuts, man. She murdered him, and then she goes after Joe and this whole thing, and then Joe allegedly tried to hire a hitman to fucking kill her.
Oh, no, he 100% did.
Right, yeah.
Joe did that
shit. He definitely
But
did.
also, hold on, we can't skip past Carol yet. Her second husband, that's Prince Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
That's Prince Andrew. Like, 100% that's him. You're just not going to address that she's married to the fucking Prince of England.
Which is weird.
Which, by the way, when people are thinking, like, which one's Prince Andrew? No, not one of the younger ones. The fucking older one that's Queen Elizabeth's son. So he's still like fucking, what, 67, 70s?
A billion?
Yeah, because she's been queen for, what, 60 fucking years? Whatever the hell it is. Like,
but yeah, it's nuts, dude.
That's her.
It's nuts.
So she's British royalty.
And just like it gets crazier from there, man. And just like then you find out about all like and it was funny that like Joe getting a hit out on her was like they tried to make it like they kept trying to make it like he was like I was like, I know Joe's not a good guy, okay, but like you can't like they kept making it, well, Carol, I mean, like Carol's the victim. No, Carol's not the victim of any of this.
No.
Like Carol was like, should you hire somebody to kill somebody? No, you shouldn't do that. That's not right. Obviously, it's not right. But like, if somebody needs to be hit on, like they have like a hit pull out of them, like she's the one. She's fucking dangerous.
Like 100%. I believe the only reason, and the whole fight, we haven't even brought this up, is she runs a big cat sanctuary because she wants to stop breeding of cats, which is what all these little zoos do. They breed them so that you can come by and pet a little baby tiger.
She did breed them.
And that she wasn't breeding.
She did breed.
Oh, early on, she did breed them.
And then she got woke.
Do exactly that.
Then she got woke.
Then she got woke and started the sanctuary.
Which is my favorite thing where, like, you're like, I used to do this, but now you can't do it. You're like, no. Just because you changed your mind doesn't mean you have to fuck it over for everybody else.
Yeah. So she's trying to shut down every private owner of any cat in the country, a big cat in the country, so that, what a surprise, she'd be the only one? If I was one of these other places, I would just go, no, we're not a zoo anymore. We're a sanctuary. And what we're going to do is we're going to sell tickets to come see the cats that we've saved. And then, you know what we're also going to do? I'm still going to breed big cats because they're endangered. So I'm going to try and help the population keep them in the world. And, like, I don't know why nobody else is just calling themselves a sanctuary and doing that. Everyone else is like, fuck it, we got cats and fuck that bitch over there. We haven't even got onto the crazy fucking Doc Antler or whatever his name is.
Dude, we're gonna have to just keep talking about this later on because like we could do a whole podcast on just Tiger King. Honestly,
maybe next week we go into Doc.
Okay, let's do that.
Because that dude,
because like this could be a 4-hour long.
We've only covered 2 people. There's like 5 people that they cover
this
in this
show. It was nuts. Like, let us know like 4 out of 5 ladles of gravy. I would give it just because like entertainment value. I'm not saying like production or anything.
Entertainment value. This is a fucking 5 out of 5.
But the way that they came up with the guy that made the documentary was like, I was doing a thing on snakes, and he was out at the GW ranch that was Joe Exotic's ranch, and he was like, then there was a guy that pulled up in a truck that was like, I know how to I can get you a snow leopard, and he was like, how the fuck?
No, he was somewhere else that did snakes. A guy pulled up that had a snow leopard, and they're like, where do you get one? And he goes,
I can get
from
you
this guy.
I can get you a snow leopard.
That's when he introduced him to Joe.
That's how he found out, and he was like, then I was there for 5 years. Then he spent 5 years of his life.
And instantly he goes, this is where I need to be for this documentary.
Like, fuck snakes. We're going to do this shit. And boy, did it pay off, because holy shit.
Now you've got the #1 streaming show in the world.
Quarantine could not have had a better show come out during.
Oh my God.
Like, Ozark comes out this weekend.
I might watch it again.
I'm going to probably watch it again. I just, like, there's so much.
Just for all the details that I missed.
There's
because
so
it was
much.
fucking 2 o'clock
It's
in the morning
amazing.
and I was out of it.
Tiger King. Tigers are back, guys.